in considering how well a felon transitions back. And the third relationship, which I said was between the master and the community, okay, between the criminal justice system and the community. If the role of the community is to speak up against this injustice. If the community does not speak, that in a sense they are giving the support of the slave master, which is the criminal justice system. They're giving them support that, yes, I support what you're doing to these people by not speaking. That's what you're saying. It's as if if I was watching a crime being committed and I did nothing about it, I'm just as guilty as the one who is committing the crime. I am just as guilty. If I saw you do it and I just, yeah, that's a crime, I don't care. I'm no better than the one who is doing it. I am not. So I mean, the role of the community is to speak up against this. Otherwise, it's going to continue. The community has to galvanize and speak up about this. And so they have to, which means they have to care enough, because everybody, either you know somebody who is affected by this or somebody's family that's affected by this, but there's ripple effect of this. Because it affects one felon, it affects one family, ultimately it affects one community, and it affects the nation. So there's ripple effect of this thing. And so the role of the community is to speak up against this. And the church, similar. The church needs to speak up about this. And, the church needs to basically be a voice for these people. And I do, some people have said, I've heard things like because of the church doesn't want to speak up because if they do, they jeopardize their 501c3 if they take a political stance. I've heard something like that. This demands that we take action. It demands it. I mean, this is I can say is more important than 501c3. I mean, my 501c3 is, that's important too, but I believe that shouldn't stop. I believe that. I mean, that wouldn't stop me from advocating because of 501c3. It wouldn't stop me. I would still do it. Against that. And so one of the questions you asked, I guess, or I'm going to ask, is what makes me so passionate about this. I believe this is my call, or this is my assignment in the earth from God. So I see myself as an ambassador of the kingdom of heaven. Okay, so I feel the pain of these people because I also went through it. I went through it. I know. I feel your pain. I feel their pain. So I know, and I cannot just not do anything about it because I know what they're going through. And had it not been for the grace of God, I too would have been a statistic, just cycling through. But thank God that was not the case. So I have an obligation to advocate for them.
So I know you wrote this book, Forgiveness in the Church and the American Society.
Yes.
You also have on Facebook a page that's called Future for Felons.
Yes,
so let's talk about that page, please.
Okay, so this page, we created it so that we can sort of, I guess, reach out to the community, get the word out there, and also to help people keep up with what we're doing. And this is the beginning of a movement. And so the community is very important. If this is going to be, if there's going to be any kind of change, the community is absolutely important. And so we hope that by creating this page that, and getting this message out there, that the community will begin to buy in. Like when you said you watched the Bible interview and you were like, oh, wow, this is, we hope for more people like you to, yes. And so when you create that kind of awareness and you galvanize the community together, then we can begin to see changes.
What would you like to see as kind of the end result? What would you like to see from all of this?
I would like to see, like I said, down the line, I'm seeing prison educational systems. I would like to see the rights of these people being protected in society by the criminal justice system. I would like to see things like that, and those are the main things. More importantly, because I have a message, that my message to the criminal justice system is protect the rights, but I also have a message to the prisoners. I would, and to the ex-felons, I would that they, because I'm a minister and I'm an ambassador, I would that they came to the kingdom, because that is my message to them. Come to the kingdom of God. Come to say yes to the Lord. Say yes to the Lord. That's my message to the prisoners and the ex-prisoners, because that's what saved me. So that's my message to them. But I can't force them to come. I can just appeal. But still, the responsibility rests on the criminal justice system to see that their rights are protected, to empower them. If you don't empower them, then that tells me you want to enslave them.
How important is education in the process? I imagine on the front end,
Yes.
extremely important before they even go to prison, but on the back end as well. So tell us about that way of education in the community.
Right, and that's another good question, because if you look at the average felon, they maybe don't have a GED, or if that. And so education helps them to change the way they see themselves. You see, because the average felon sees himself the way the criminal justice system sees him. I'm no good. I'm less than human. I'm just a criminal. I'm the scum of the earth. They see themselves the way the criminal justice system sees them. In other words, they know themselves chiefly by hearsay. This is what they say I am, so that's what I am, and they act accordingly. It's the same thing with a child. If you keep on telling a child, you're nothing, you're nothing, you're nothing, they will take that in and be nothing, okay? And so, but what education does is education empowers them through knowledge, and education helps them to see themselves differently, and to have a broader horizon on things, and it definitely keeps them from having the poverty mentality. Education frees their mind, and mental freedom is more important than physical freedom. You can be in prison but still be free. Nelson Mandela was in prison for 27 years physically, but his mind was free. So mental freedom is more important than physical freedom, and education helps that. Education helps the mental aspect.
Amen, Elugbe, thank you so very much for coming in today. Of course, he's the author of Forgiveness in the Church and in the American Society. And where can people pick up the book?
You can get it at Barnes & Nobles or Amazon, Books A Million, Ingram catalog. Just about anywhere they sell books, you can get these books. Or you can catch me at Christ Ambassadors at 5114 East Nettleton. I usually have 1 or 2 copies on me or something, so you can catch me there. But your best bet is going to Barnes & Nobles. And there, I do have a book signing that's coming up July the 8th at Barnes & Nobles from 1 to 4 p.m. That's in a couple of months. But if you want to get the book before then, which I strongly suggest, then you can go to Barnes & Nobles online or at the store and order it.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We sure appreciate it.
Thank you.
And for KASU News, I'm Jonathan Reeves.